Hey, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using the Shadowscapes Tarot, which is a deck that I haven't used in years, and I just found it when I was kind of organizing my bookshelf. And I love this deck because it's so whimsical and magical, and the artwork is so beautiful. So I'm excited to break out this deck again and use it. All right, so if you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. I post these readings every week, usually on a Friday. And make sure you check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. It's got tons of fun tarot learning resources for you to check out. So the first card is for the beginning of the week, and we have the 10 of Pentacles. So my intention with this reading is to get an overview of the week ahead and just kind of touch on some of the themes, some of the opportunities and challenges that might come up for us this week. And so the first card is for the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday, and we have King of Pentacles. All right. So, King of Pentacles is a court card, and the kings they have a very powerful, confident kind of energy to them. And the Pentacles especially has a very grounded, rooted, practical energy. And as I'm looking at this king, and I'm just going to bring him in a little bit closer for you to see, I'm remembering the thing that I found frustrating about reading with the Shadowscapes deck is that it's very detailed, which is what I love about it. But with the little cards, I almost wish these cards were like twice the size or even 3 times the size, because I find I have to look at them really closely to see all the beautiful details. So this particular king, it looks like his body is like a tree trunk. And then he has his arms out to the sides. There's a dragon there. There's lots of neat stuff going on here. So what stands out to me with this king is that we begin the week, there's this like very confident, stable, grounded energy that we can choose to tap into if we want to. And some things that pop into my mind with this card is getting organized in a really practical, almost kind of a boring way this week. So the beginning of the week is a good time to make lists of like what you need to do, what you need to get done. And I'll share what I'm doing on the weekend. So right before the week starts, I'm making a bunch of tracking sheets and little calendar sheets and schedules and stuff, because I have a lot of different projects I'm working on. I have a lot of goals and things I want to do in a lot of areas of my life that I really want to organize. And so I'm going to create little tracking sheets to get going on that. So that's how I'm going to be embodying this particular card and this kind of energy. But a few questions I have for you with this card is, what makes you feel confident? What helps you feel more confident? What helps you feel more grounded and rooted in your day-to-day life? What kinds of activities or things can you do to help yourself feel more rooted, more grounded in the here and now? How can you kind of refocus your attention on some of the practical elements in your life at the beginning of the week so that you can go through your week with a kind of a sense of organization? Judgment, which is a major arcana card, is the card we have for the middle of the week. And I apologize that my little card holder kind of hides the name of the card. That's a little frustrating, I know. So we have a major arcana card, Judgment, for Wednesday, Thursday-ish, kind of the middle of the week. And oh, I love Judgment. I love this card. So Judgment is all about listening to and hearing your inner calling. And it's also a card of rebirth and reinventing the self, reinventing your life. When the Judgment card shows up in a reading, it's an invitation to reinvent yourself and to kind of give your life a bit of a makeover. But a big part of that is finally and truly listening to your inner calling. So if you don't listen to your inner calling, if you don't connect in with your intuition and you try to reinvent yourself, you may find yourself trying to be someone you're not, or trying to rearrange your life in a way that might look very appealing to other people, but the reality is it's not appealing to you if you were actually to live, if you were to actually live that life that you're trying to design for yourself. So the most important step is really getting in touch with yourself and hearing your true voice, your true inner voice and your calling, and asking yourself, what do I feel called to do? What is my true definition of success? What really excites me? Where do I feel drawn? What am I drawn to do? What projects do I want to start? What people do I want to spend time with? Like really paying attention to what you feel called to do in this moment and using that as a compass, kind of as a guide for reinventing yourself and reinventing your life this week. Moving on to the last card. This is the card for the end of the week, and we have the Hierophant, which is another major arcana card. So I will say that all three of these cards, King of Pentacles, Judgment, and the Hierophant, are all powerful cards. They have a certain kind of power and strength to them, and they show up in this reading in a very confident way. So let's talk about the Hierophant. And I'm going to bring the Hierophant in a little closer so you can see all the details. So the Hierophant, I think of him as a wise figure. He's a teacher. He's lived life. He's had experiences. And there's a certain calm, quiet, maybe even a cranky wisdom to the Hierophant. He's very wise, he has experience, and there's a lot we can learn from the Hierophant. Now, a few things that pop into my head here is there's an upside and a downside to the Hierophant. So if we connect with the energy of this card in a more unhelpful, negative way, it's about being given a list of rules to follow and being given a box to try to fit ourselves into. If we connect with this card in a more positive, helpful way, the Hierophant is about learning from other people's wisdom that they've gathered and honoring traditions and maybe even using a set of instructions or guidelines as a tool for moving forward or being successful in a particular area. But that's different than trying to force yourself to live your life according to really limiting rules and trying to force yourself to fit into this narrow parameters. So what I get when I look at the Hierophant is I feel like you might be able to benefit from doing some sort of learning on the weekend. This could be in the form of taking a class, learning from a teacher, or even learning about some kind of tradition or way of doing something. It's interesting because when I was talking about the King of Pentacles, I talked about making lists and getting organized and having some kind of structure to organize your life in so that you can be confident and grounded as you move through the week. And the Hierophant kind of echoes that. The Hierophant is also about some sort of like having some kind of organization, some sort of, I want to say like a template, having some kind of template to use just so you can sort of get organized and kind of get your footing. And then it's interesting that those two cards, and both of those cards, King of Pentacles, the Hierophant, have kind of a masculine energy, kind of an older man energy. And I feel like the Hierophant, I think I described him as being a little bit cranky. He's kind of cranky. King of Pentacles isn't really cranky, but both of them are kind of, I want to say like practical. There's like a practical, organized energy to these two cards, and they're flanking the center card, which is Judgment. And when we look at Judgment, there is more of a flowy, free feeling with this card. We've got the poppies and the butterflies, and just the coloring is kind of different from the other two cards. There is a sense of freedom and breaking free, and it's almost like to get that sense of freedom and to take advantage of the opportunities to reinvent yourself or give your life a bit of a makeover and recreate certain aspects of your life. In order to do that, in order to have that kind of freedom, you also need the structure and the groundedness of the King of Pentacles and the Hierophant. So really lovely message, I think. So I want to hear from you. What do you think of these cards? Share, if you feel like sharing, you can share in the comments below. How would you interpret these three cards? If you could just interpret each card with like one sentence, how would you interpret this reading? If each card gave you like one sentence of advice or a suggestion, how might you interpret these three cards? I'd love to read your responses in the comment section below. So thank you so much for watching. And again, if you want to learn more about tarot, you can check out my YouTube channel. I've got lots of videos on various card meanings, lots of video tutorials, and you can also check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link below. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful week.